a very firm and still mind. This is called quietude. So there is something in Vedanta. It says that when you attain self-knowledge, what is the result? Means what is the worldly, worldly result or the worldly benefit that you get when you attain self-knowledge? You become uh, you become liberated. So this is the spiritual aspect. Now there is a material aspect also. Somebody's mic is not muted. I'm hearing my own voice. Uh, thank you. So uh, uh, one is the spiritual aspect of self-knowledge, which is uh, that we attain liberation, liberation from ignorance, and we attain peace, we attain bliss, we uh, we experience the knowledge, we uh, we feel the knowledge, we become the knowledge, we become one with the knowledge. So these are the spiritual part of self-knowledge. We don't have any difference with the self. We feel that I am the self. I am the self means we used to think that we are the mind, we are the body, we are the name and form. But after self-knowledge, we cannot think about that. We cannot bring it into our perception that we are the body or the mind or ego or the name or form. There is a very spontaneous flow of knowledge which always, always, like always gives us this knowledge that I am the self. I'm never, I'm never, uh, I'm never uh, the body. I'm never the material as I'm not matter. I'm consciousness. I'm consciousness. So these are the spiritual aspects of self-knowledge. Now there is a material aspect also. What happens to you when you have realized self-knowledge that you can, you know, that you can bring to the world? What does the world see? What the world world see? It says that we attain something called in Sanskrit. It's called Purushartha. That is the goal of our life. Artha means the goal, and Purush means our life. So the life that we're leading, it has some purpose. It has some purpose. So what is the purpose of the life? So it says the purpose of the life lies in four. One is dharma, the next is artha, the fourth is kama, and the last is moksha. So these are the four aspects. Now, after self-knowledge, it says that we attain dharma. Dharma means pious deeds, good deeds, right conduct, means things which helps others, things which are divine, all the actions which are divine in nature, which are very pure in nature. And then we have artha. Artha means wealth. So, sometimes artha also means the means of life. Like we have a life and we have needs. We have to eat, we have to wear clothes, we need a shelter, like food, shelter, and clothing. They are the basic needs of a man. So uh, you know these needs are met to us by the wealth we incur, the wealth we earn. So in one way, artha also means the means of life, the means for a better life. a means, the means for a prosperous life, you can say. So the next is artha. Then number third is kama. Kama means desires. Like it says that when you attain self-knowledge, all the desires that you have, they get fulfilled. The desires, every each and every desire that you have, they slowly and continuously, slowly and steadily, they get fulfilled. And the last is moksha, that is liberation. So these are the four, you know, these are the four aspects of uh, the purpose of our life. Now Ashtavakra says, you know, when you are doing good deeds, that is dharma, when you're doing good deeds, these good deeds are bringing uh, artha and kama. That is, these good deeds that you are doing, they are bringing the means of living, the wealth, means of living, and the desires which are fulfilled, or enjoyment. Means desires are fulfilled means enjoyment, material enjoyment, worldly enjoyment. So Ashtavakra says, because this dharma is the cause of artha and kama. Dharma means this right conduct, this pious actions, pious actions. They are the cause of the wealth that you earn in this world, and the desires or the happiness that you have, or the worldly happiness that you have. So when you are having these two, there is every possibility that you can become attached to them, because these are the, artha and kama. These are the two enemies which bind us: wealth and worldly pleasures. They are the two enemies. The means of worldly pleasure is wealth. So these are the two enemies. So both are interdependent. If you don't have wealth, you cannot have worldly happiness. And if you need worldly happiness, you need to have wealth. Without wealth, there is no there is no enjoyment. There is no worldly pleasures. So both are dependent, but these both are the cause of our bondage. Kama and artha. These two are the cause of our bondage. Now, what gives rise to this artha and kama? Dharma is the one which gives rise to artha and kama. Very subtle. So Ashtavakra says that you need to be completely dispassionate. You need to be completely, non-attached, non-attached from this dharma, the conducts that you are doing, the actions that are doing. If you are somehow attached to the actions, the right, even their right actions, if you are, if you are somehow attached to that, that is going to bring, that is surely going to bring artha and kama. But these artha and kama will bring bondage to you. So you should always remain unattached from dharma. I'm not sure whether I could explain to you. It's very like Eastern, it's very Indian, concept. This one. So I probably I will hope that you can understand this. If you don't, we can discuss about it after the class. So let's start the 10th chapter, Quietude. Astavakra Uvacha. Astavakra is saying, Vihaya Vairinam Kamartham Chanartha Sankulam Dharma Peta Yor Hetum sarvatra nadaram kuru. It says that kamartham means kama and artha, that is desires and wealth. They are the means of all kinds of, all kinds of distress, sufferings. They are the means of all kinds of sufferings, and that is why they have to be, renunciated. They have to be renounced. Renounce means, you should not be attached to that. So it says you have to always, Vairinam, you have to always consider this kama and artha, that is desire and worldly pleasure and uh, and and wealth, worldly pleasure and wealth to be the enemy, to be the enemy of yourself, you know. And then it says dharmam api etaryo hetum, but the cause of this desires of this worldly pleasure and wealth is actually dharma. It is actually dharma, the the pious action, the dharma, which is the pious deeds, which is the pious deeds. So you need to always forsake it. You need to always you need to always uh, you know remain unattached to this, and that is how you need to practice spirituality. So even after self knowledge, if you have attained self knowledge, even after self knowledge, you have to always be aware of each and every actions that you are that you are engaging, because these actions, though they may appear to be very pious, very good, very purified, pure actions, they may appear to be very very spiritual, very very spiritual, very very divine, but they will be the cause of you know worldly pleasures, and prosperity, which are your enemy. They are actually your enemy because they create bondage. Now, I have known the self. Yes, you have known the self. But if you need to be very, very, you need to be in the self always. If somehow you get attached to the, worldly pleasures, if somehow you get attached to the worldly, wealth, you will see that though you are the self has become covered by ignorance again. It will be covered. Like, often we see that in a pond, there are some kind of, plants that grow and which completely covers the water. Sometimes you can even not know that this is actually a lake. You might think that this is a field or this is a, farmland. It's a field, but it's a lake. The plants have grown up in such a way and such an intensity, such a density that you don't see the water anymore, and you think that it's not a lake, it's actually a field. So in the same way, these ignorance will come and cover you, cover you, and though you are the self, you cannot feel that you are the self. You have to, you know, always struggle. You have to always struggle. So uh, consider these as your enemy. Consider this karma and that is worldly pleasure and prosperity to be your enemy, and practice unattachment with not only the bad deeds No, you have to not only renounce the bad deeds, you also have to renounce the attachment towards good deeds. Those attachment also will create bondage, and ultimately you know, you will become what you were at one point. So this is what it's saying. Now the next one, it says Swap Swapnendriya Jalavat Pasya Dinani Trini Panchava Mitra Kshetra Dhana Dhana Agar Dara Dayadi Sampada. It says everything that we have in the world, all the connections with the friends. Mitra means our friends. It's not only friends, it's relatives, it's family, and we have this very strong bondage with them. We have this very strong attachment to them. Then Kshetra. Kshetra means, your land, your property. You have this very firm, bondage, very firm connection, very firm attachment with your property. Then dhana, your wealth. It's my money. It's my money. And we are all attached to that money. Dhanam. Then agar. Agar means place, house, house, where we stay, our house. Then dara means wife or husband. For a woman, it's the husband. For a man, it's wife. So we are all attached to this Dara, Dayadi Sampada, and all the, all the good fortunes, all the good fortunes and the presents. Dayadi means of things which are given to us, and all the good fortunes that we have. We say that he have inherited a fortune from his father. Means he have got a lot of wealth from his father. Now, what is the wealth going to do? He will just keep the money in the bank. The money will be in the bank. The bankers will enjoy his money. What he will do is, he will be attached to that money without any reason. It's not in his pocket. It's not that he is spending that money and enjoying. He has just kept the money in the bank, and by putting the money in the bank, he has some kind of, pleasure, some kind of satisfaction, and is attached to that. And what is going to happen with this attachment? He will continue to be in darkness. He's doing nothing. The person who have, earned this money have just left this money for him. He did not earn that money, and he might not even spend it. He will also keep the money, and he will transfer it to his children. He might not even spend it, or maybe that he will buy a house where he might not live. He might give it to his family to live, his children. So he has not done anything, but he has become attached to that. It's my money. It's my money, and in this way, he have become, he have been covered by darkness, by ignorance. So it says that these things, mitra, that is friends and family, kshetra, that is land, dhana, that is wealth, agar, that is house, tara, husband or wife, then dayadi sampada, and all the presents that we receive, and all the good fortunes that we receive, they are like swapnendriya jalavat. They are like the web of dreams. They are not only dreams, they are the web of dream. We have just, we are just like binded in that. We are captivated. We are all captivated, jailed, tied in these, and the happiness that it might provide to me, the satisfaction it might provide to me, this might be for 1 or 2 days. They are very short lived. Most of the time suffer. I might suffer of fear of losing that money, or I might, might have any other sufferings. I cannot enjoy. But, you know, these are like the web of, dreams, like a wave of dreams where I remain captivated. So Ashtavakra says that you might have all this. You might have friends and family. You might have, wealth. You might have land. You might have your husband or wife. You might have, you might have a house. You might have a huge fortune, but but never become attached to any of this. Always remain unattached from that. They should not affect you. They should not touch you. They should not touch you. You should always remain separate from that. Okay? This is what has been said. Then it says, Yatra yatra bhavet trishna samsaram vidhi tatra vai. Wherever there is thirst, thirst means desires. Wherever there is desires, there is the existence of material world. Now, why material world? Why did he say material world? Material world means it is not only the material world, it is not only the physical world that we see outside. It is also it's also the material world and associated with ignorance. Because ignorance is the cause of material world. Ignorance is the cause by which we experience this material world. Actually, there is no material world. There is no external world. There is only one world, and that is the self. But when we see something which is separate from us, which is which is different from us, it is only because of ignorance. So it says that wherever there is desire, there is the existence of physical world, material world, mundane world, matter. But it's not only matter, it's also ignorance. Prora vairagyam ashritya, with a very, very firm unattachment, with a very, very firm, firm dependence. Ashrita means dependence. With a very, very firm dependence on, vairagyam, that is non-attachment or dispassion. With a very, very firm dependence on dispassion or non-attachment. Bita Trishna Sukhi Bhava. Become free from the desires. With a very, very strong, very, very strong dependence on unattachment. Be free from your desires and be happy. So to be happy, you need to be free from your desires. When you have a very small, drop of desire left within you, you have to know that you have this world of, in this infinite world within you. A simple, a very tiny drop of, or maybe a fraction of the drop, which is very, very, very tiny, very, very negligible, of ignorance, of desire, will bring, infinite world of ignorance, infinite world of, of 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 difference, You will see that you are lost in this. You're lost in this duality. You're lost in this duality. You cannot, You cannot remember who you are. You cannot feel who you are. You cannot recollect who you are. You cannot connect with whom you are. You will always feel disconnected from yourself, away from yourself, drifted, alone, ungrounded, distracted, distracted. All this. These are all, these are all the effects of ignorance. So you will feel them. You feel them. So that is why it says that, uh, you know, you need to get rid of all your desires, because the desires are the cause of, what the desires means, it's the world. Then it says, Krishna matratmako bandha stannasho moksha uchyate. Krishna matratmako bandha. With, you know, with means the desire alone. The desire alone is the cause of all bondages. The desire means the desire alone is the cause of all bondages. And with the annihilation of the desire, with the destruction of the desire, you have your bondage is being destroyed. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Kama esho, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo guna samudbhava, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Bidma eva Vairinam. Kam esha, Krodha esha, Rajo guna samudbhava, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Vidmenam iha Vairinam. It says this calm, that is this desire. And when the desires are not completed, then we have krodha, that is anger, frustration, desperation. These desires and this anger, they are born from rajaguna, that is rajas, the attribute rajas. They are born from rajas attribute. He says Mahashano Mahapapama. Is a great, danger to you. They are great calamities. This calm, this desire is a great calamity. It's great danger to your life, and it's very, very, sinful. Mahashano Mahapapama Vidmenam iha Vairinam. Know that this is your only uh, enemy. There is no other enemy. You don't have any enemy. The only enemy that you have is your desires. Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidmenam iha Vairinam. Okay, so this is what Astavakra is saying, that Krishna matratmako bandha stannasho moksha uchyate. The only cause of all bondages is desires. The bondage consists of desire. Bondage, the composition of bondage is just desire. The substance in bondage is desire. And, with the annihilation, with the destruction of desire, all the bondage is gone. Bhava Sangshakti Matrena, Bhava Sangshakti Matrena, Prapti Tushtir Muhur Muhu. It says, with the unattachment, with these desires, Prapti Tushti, attain peace, Muhur Muhu, that is continuously, in a continuous basis, eternally, just by, completely, renouncing, completely renouncing the desires, you will attain, you know, you will attain tushti, that is peace, eternally. Okay. Any question that you have? Do you have any question?
Yeah. Yeah, Swamiji.
Yes.
When I was wondering how, when you talk about pious deeds leading to artha and dharma, karma, how does that relate to the idea that you're not the doer, that your success or failure is not on our part?
Yeah, if you
So
can
how does that
do,
relate?
very nice. If you can do, if you can perform your actions in that way, that you are not the doer, then the result of your actions, which is desires and prosperity, they are not going to affect you. But if you have this,
They
you
will be
know,
there, but they will not affect you.
yeah.
Okay.
But when you are, when you are doing good deeds, when Astavakra is saying that your good deeds are the cause of your desire and prosperity, he is not trying to tell us that don't do good deeds. Means we have to do something because we cannot live without action. We have to always, perform actions. So if we don't do good deeds, that means we have to do bad deeds. So is Ashtavakra telling us that you need to do bad deeds? No, he's not telling that. He's saying don't be attached to your good deeds. You are not, when you are not attached to your good deeds, means how can I not get attached to the good deeds? Who is who gets attached? The ego gets attached. The ego tells me that I am the doer, and that is what it gets attached to the good deeds. So if I have this, very very strong perception that I am not the doer, then who will attach with him? The doer is gone. The ego is gone. So when the ego is gone, who is going to attach with whom? So that is
Okay,
why,
but
yes,
there still is a um, cause and effect between the pious deeds and the result. It's like you can bring it on to yourself. It's like
yes.
even if you're unattached, it's
No,
like
the cause and
the
effect,
cause is the deed and the effect is then artha. But then this whole thing is not personal or is not our deed.
exactly, exactly. You have to do,
It's
you
just there to for us to watch.
yes, you have to be the witness, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Then I see the whole picture more clearly now. Thank you.
Yes, very nice. This is, one who can understand the concept or the secret of karma. For him, the mystery of knowledge unveils. He becomes, he comes into light. But one who does not know the secret of knowledge, the secret of karma, what is karma? What is action? What is action? How we need to, how we need to perform actions. If I don't know the secret of that, then the secret of the self-knowledge will also not reveal unto me. It says that yagyartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Now, when you came to the ashram, you might have seen that during Kali Puja, we do some, fire ceremony. That is, we light some fire and then we, offer, offer ghee and other stuff, medicines, Ayurvedic medicines we offered there. What is that? That is called yajna. That is offering to the Lord. So when we offer to the Lord, we don't we don't seek anything in return. It's just a process of giving. Yajna is a process of just giving. So there you cannot, you do not, you do not expect anything in return. You do not want anything. So Lord Krishna is saying that each and every actions that you perform, they should be like the yajna. You should just keep doing it, but not seek anything in return. But and if you don't do this, if you, if you seek any result from your actions, then this will become the cause of your bondage. That will become the cause of your bondage. So this is the secret of of action. This is the secret of karma. That I need to do each and every karma by being unattached. Unattached means I have to know that I am not the doer. That is, being unattached. I am not the doer. That's it. And when I am completely, when I'm completely uh, uh, established in this fact that I am not the doer, whatever I do, they are not going to affect me. Even if I do any sin, they are also not going to affect me. They are also not going to affect me
Do you
because I'm
mean,
not the. Huh?
what do you mean but doesn't affect me? It doesn't create karma.
Yeah, it does not create karma. It does not create any ignorance, and that is why it does not affect me. Because everything is because of the ego. I am the doer. Each and every aspect of the world is because of the doer. I am of the ego. So when the ego is gone, then everything is a movie. You're the witness. Everything is the movie. The life becomes a matter of happiness. Life becomes a matter of happiness. There is no bondage at all. There is no sufferings. There is no sufferings. Sufferings, also, the cause of suffering also is attachment, is ignorance, is ego, attachment to our ego. So when we do not have any attachment to the ego, then there is no attachment towards desires. And because there is no attachment to the desires, there is no attachment to sufferings. Life becomes very, you know, peaceful, very joyful, blissful. Okay, so today we just read these three verses, and uh,